up, you guys? We are back, and we did want to go ahead and update you guys on the whole entire scam situation, the chargeback situation that has been going on with us. If you have not watched part 1 to the video, we'll make sure that we put it up here, so make sure you guys watch that first, or else this won't really make any sense.
I want to start off by saying thank you so much for all of the support on our live streams, on our daily shorts, on our long form videos. You guys have gone above and beyond to make sure that you guys as a community are there for us.
Genuinely, that means more than you guys could ever know. We've had a bunch of people messaging us and reaching out. Just know that you guys are genuinely keeping us going throughout this very, very hard situation that we have been having to deal with. And the Toke family is super, super strong. So I want to start off at square one. We were actually going back and doing a lot more research. And I don't know if we mentioned it in the first video, but we did find out that he was doing charges on his own card, his mother's card, and also his brother's card. So there's 3 different people that kind of come into play here. I don't know if he was making charges without his family members knowing, or if they were all in on it and they're all just possible scammers. I have no idea. All I know is that the chargebacks that have came through the first time were through his brother's card. They waited a complete week in between and then did a whole bunch more chargebacks. It was like $1,600, and that was through his mom's card. So altogether, we have had chargebacks for roughly $4,300.
Which again is not a small amount of money, and it's only piling up. But thankfully, at the time of recording this video, it has momentarily stopped. And also, all of the disputes that we initially made are finally going to the bank. Which means everything that we uploaded, all of the evidence, is now finally hitting the bank. But unfortunately, that doesn't mean they're just going to see it and message us back right away. It could take up to 75 days, and it most likely will take that amount of time.
And not only that, more times than not, you guys saw in PokeVault's situation and a lot of other people who have dealt with these sort of things, they typically do not take the seller side because Shopify or whoever else is, taking payment. They don't want to pay out of pocket. They want the people to, aka us, pay out of our pocket. And that's also another thing that I want to mention. We are a very small business, so this affects us tremendously. Like, we have had to severely cut back on the amount of product that we have been able to source in to be able to sell on our rip and ships or even access product to record for our long form videos. We had to even go as far as sell a bunch of our personal collection in order to make up for this. We have sold a lot of our slabs, and we even opened some of our personal collection in order to kind of do damage control. But then after that, we got more chargebacks and more money got taken from us as well. So it's just really hard. We don't know if they're going to keep coming in, so we don't know if we should just keep trying to sell stuff to make up for it. But like we said, this is literally how we keep going. This is how we keep the channel going, and it's just super, super heartbreaking.
You guys left so much great feedback, and we have been doing our own due diligence. We are going to be lawyering up, and we are going to be filing a police report here in New York and also in Arizona, where he is actually from. Keep in mind, this is not a short process, and this is going to take quite a long time. As you guys know, the whole Cody situation is still going on. So you can only imagine this is just the beginning for us. I do want to mention there are some things that you guys were saying we could have done to prevent this in some way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, it's really one of those weird situations where if my friend goes and buys something for me, I'm not going to really think twice about my friend trying to do something crazy. You know what I mean? However, we did go ahead and partner up and start sourcing background checks and stuff like that for every order that comes through, just to make sure that we're not going to be going through something like this again in the future.
Yeah, 100%. We made sure that we added in a little bit of extra layer of security for orders that were coming in. But like we did say, it was just a really hard thing because it wasn't like a one and done sort of thing. We literally knew the guy, you know what I mean? It got to the point where we knew what he was doing on his day-to-day life, and we would talk to him about what was going on in our life and stuff like that. So that was really the main thing that was just really hard to kind of see out there. But we have been talking to some people behind the scenes, and they're giving us some really good advice on how to navigate and go through the situation. I do really want to say a huge thank you to PokeVault. He is a truly amazing person and a huge helping hand throughout this entire situation, and I genuinely cannot put enough into words how much we appreciate him and everything that he does for not only us but for the community and everybody else that isn't big enough and isn't loud enough to have a voice or maybe be able to deal with the situation effectively on their own.
And that's one of the biggest problems right now is there's such a huge separation from buyers and sellers. And some buyers think that rip and shippers are the best thing to walk earth. And then some buyers think that rip and shippers ruin the hobby. But in the end of the day, none of that is true. And we all have our own point of views. I do want to say this though. At the end of the day, these big companies are distribution, Shopify, any other selling platform is the problem. As sellers, we should have some sort of insurance built into the platform that we're selling on. And the fact that we have to source that from somewhere else is really hard to believe. Because most sellers don't know any better, especially small businesses. So for them to have to go through something like this just to start doing that, it really sucks.
The thing that's really kind of annoying is that, like, for example, the extra security that we did put through on our website, all of that costs an extra sort of fee. So you could have extra apps or whatever that you can add on to Shopify or Wix or whatever, but all of that just costs more and more money on top of that monthly, just in order to have something that should already be implemented there in the first place. And it kind of just really makes you think, what exactly is this website taking all of these fees away from each and every single one of our sales if they're not even going to help us out when something like this happens? Of course, we will keep you guys updated if we do hear anything with the first round of disputes that we did go ahead and put through. The second round of disputes, I don't think will get sent into the bank for at least another couple of weeks. But regardless, that process takes absolutely forever. Early on in the process, I did also go ahead and figure out exactly what banks were being used. And I did try and reach out to the banks directly myself just to explain exactly what's going on and kind of like flag it, not even only for ourselves, but just in case if they're trying to do chargebacks or do fraud.
Different companies.
Yeah, elsewhere. And the banks absolutely just gave me a load of bullshit. They said that there's nothing that we could do because I don't have an account with that bank. And because I'm not them, obviously, there's nothing that I can say or do for them. They can't flag the account. They can't flag the person. So that's also really kind of frustrating to see that there's really nothing that we can do other than what we're going to be doing. And if we weren't able to file a police report or lawyer up, like most people may not even be able to do and have the resources to do, you would just kind of be set there by yourself and have to take that out.
Yeah.
We are going to get justice, not only for ourselves, but hopefully for others in this space. And we just really appreciate the Pokemon community.
I know this isn't the most fun video, so make sure you guys stay tuned for our future uploads. We post Pokemon content all the time, so make sure you do not miss out. In the meantime, I got 75 days to wait until they tell me they're going to take our money anyway. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Bye, guys.